The following is a Complexity production.
1, 2, 3, Complexity!
This is the press conference, streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Oh, you cannot be serious, man!
You've got questions, we've got answers. And now, your hosts, Complexity.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the press conference.
We're back.
We're back. We had a bit of a 2-week hiatus, but for very good reason.
Yeah, we've been a little busy.
Yeah, we've been a little bit busy. And what better way to start right into it with the busiest thing that's been happening for us? We moved in.
We're home.
We're home.
Yes.
We're now here at the Star, where the GSPC is open for us, not open to the public yet, but we've had our opening night, the VIP gala. Surely that must have been a big moment for you, Jason.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's been such a tornado of activity the last few weeks. We had the rebrand, we had new partner announcements, we had the VIP grand opening. We're preparing to open to the public this summer. Like I said at the announcement, there's so many people to thank, and particularly on our side, Kyle and Andrew really bore the heavy lifting for over a year, because there were thousands of details and dozens of meetings and tens of thousands of questions that had to be answered. Where does this data line go, or how much how much data do you need in this area, or how much power do you need? It was just nonstop. It was a gigantic project, and hat tip to Andrew and Kyle on our team, and shout out to Mark and Jennifer, especially on the Cowboys end. And we're not 100% done yet, but we are in and super excited. We love the facility. We think it's something really special, and we're happy to be there.
I am glad to have conference rooms. It's really nice to be able to. It's such a
big difference, right?
It really has. It was a year and a half. Well, before that, we were having conference rooms online and Skype.
Right.
But being able to work in person, our biggest room that we would be able to bring in was 5 or 6 people in Jason's office.
Yeah.
But being able to get everybody in one place, it's a game changer, and that's only one of the very minor things. So very excited about the HQ, and excited to get it up to snuff so that everybody can come out and come see it.
Yeah, we told everybody it was going to be a big spring, but I don't think anybody really understood just how big we were talking. It's been a busy spring. I sent out a tweet, 7-10 days ago or something, just listing what the company had accomplished in the first 5 months of the year, and it even surprised me a little bit. Just the sponsors that have been announced, in addition to the rebrand and the new HQ, and we're definitely off to a great start to 2019, and hopefully have some more exciting things coming down the pipe for our fans. So yeah, it was great to get the GSPC open. Thanks to GameStop for their support and all the partners that came together to make it happen.
Yeah, you alluded to earlier. We also announced 2 new partners while we're gone: Mamba Sports Academy and Miller Lite.
Yep.
We'll probably have Daniel on at some point in the future to talk more in depth about it. But obviously, that's pretty exciting. We have the player lunch now. We have the Mind Gym. So for all the fans out there that can't wait, don't worry. We will have an episode of Groundbreaking covering pretty much all of the HQ. And we're going to have like a whole tour, so stay tuned.
There's been a lot of people asking about Groundbreaking. We've released 2 episodes so far. Just construction delays and other timing delays have kind of pushed back our original schedule for the series. But I think the goal is like 7 episodes for now, so there's plenty more to come. We really want to dive into the thought that went behind the project. So if you're enjoying that series, stay tuned. It's a work in progress.
For now, you
Very
can
much
follow
so.
the GSPC on Twitter at TheGSPC. We'll try to post, some pictures and behind the scenes from the place right now. So if you can't really wait, just check it out on Twitter.
I saw the tweet today about the nap pod and the decompression porch.
Made me want to lay down.
It made me want to take a nap.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
Anyway, we also had a lot of things happening in the gaming world, of course, because that's our bread and butter. I think we want to start off with one of the bigger ones for me personally, Rocket League. I think, to me, it's one of the bigger things.
I'm not judging.
You had a very judging look.
This is my normal look.
We're back, baby.
We're back! RLCS, woo! After a bit of a up and down in the RLRS. Soren, you want to walk us through that? We're back in the RLCS.
See, I'm not allowed to talk about this too long because I got
There's no monologue.
I got a
on this
time
show.
limit. It was an up and down. So basically, 2 weeks ago, we thought we were basically out. Our players tweeted about this being a wasted opportunity, and Flakes was really sad that he still didn't make it into RLCS. Then we got a bunch of very fortunate bounces about in week 4 of RLRS that all went our way. Basically, 2 teams had to lose against a team that hadn't won up until that point, and somehow that worked out. So we went into the last week basically knowing that we had to go 6-2, I think.
Yeah.
So we had to win both, could drop 1 game to our competitors, and we ended up 6-1, clinched the spot for playoffs. And then this weekend, basically like 2 days ago, we went into the playoffs and dropped exactly 1 map. We
crushed it.
Dominated
against Bricks, and we looked really, really good.
Yeah, and now we're back in the
8-1
RLCS.
this weekend, right?
8-1, yes.
It was
Incredible.
fun to watch.
Yeah, had a lot of support from the fans. They were out in force, and I mean, I'm really looking forward to making it into the esports shop. I'm gonna have to fire up Rocket League on the old computer and
you
go
go.
buy some complexity cars.
For sure. But it's not the only good news in a squad that's primarily handled by our German friend over here.
First, we have
What a
DreamHack-
segue.
He's
don't want to talk about DreamHack Dallas because our Rocket League guys are here. Just
Yeah,
wanted to let
true.
you guys
That's
know,
true.
yeah.
Quick, one of them
Yeah.
just landed.
Exactly.
Blow my segue,
Flakes
that's
just sorry. Flakes just landed. The other 2 are going to come here. We have our home event, DreamHack Dallas. They didn't qualify, but we, going through the open signups, and I think we have a really good shot. Last time in Leipzig, we beat a couple of RLCS teams. Now we are an RLCS team. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Seeing Flakes on stage for the 2nd time, Magnus and Greasy being here. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Are you going to be there?
Of course.
What do you have to say to the fans that are going to see you at DreamHack Dallas this weekend?
Tread lightly.
If you guys see Soren with any of the players down there this weekend, make sure to say hi. He loves taking selfies.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I love talking.
Fair warning,
Everywhere.
Soren, whenever he watches one of his teams play, he is the most nervous wreck I've seen.
That's true.
You just need somebody there to punch his arm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, as Lake already alluded to it, we've had success with other teams as well. Dota, they just made it to the minor.
Yeah.
After, I would say, a very good, strong qualifier.
Exactly. So we were off for two weeks. So we changed our roster, which I don't think was discussed on the show, unless I missed an episode. So we added Tavo, who came from Chaos,
Yes.
who moved to Europe, so they couldn't have all Brazilians. Picked them up. Jaren replaced. We replaced Jaren, who was our trial for the major. Big shout out to him again, stepping in on short notice, flying to Frankfurt to the boot camp, flying to Paris, basically taking three weeks out of his streaming schedule to come here, help us out. Sadly, didn't work out for better than 9th, 12th, I think is what we placed. But yeah, it was a lot of fun having him around. Now Tavo is here. Looked really, really good. I think you brought this up. You said since TI4 Moon Zach shenanigans on the offlane, you haven't seen this much of an entertaining offlane duo.
Yeah, we
in
call
our
it
team.
we call it a clown fiesta. It's since been terminology adopted by League of Legends, but Zach and Moon, the clown fiesta at TI5, Tavo and Zach, they're going to rival that one.
Yeah.
Because they've been playing really well, and going into the major qualifier, they were looking decent but still unpracticed. I think if we had like 1 or 2 more days of practice going into the major qualifier, we would have qualified directly to the major.
Yeah, I feel like it was the same thing as we had the first time we brought the Southeast Asian guys in. Like the day after day, you could see improvements, and then obviously that ended with a major qualifier in a very tight series against EG, who, as far as I know, just took out Secret 2-0 in Birmingham. So.
Spoilers.
And people meme on it was going to come out on Thursday. People meme on it, but they are the third best team in the world. So I think we also played really well against them.
Consistently the third best team.
So excited to be heading over for the minor in a few weeks here, and hopefully going to be going to the major.
I hope so too.
Congratulations to those guys.
Minor has 2 slots, so I'm liking our chances.
Good.
Going to be very competitive. Moving on. CS, we just came back from EPL, just about a week ago. Unfortunately, not as exciting, but all things considered. Once again, unfortunately, we had a stand-in, but like I believe we have positive visa news.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, we said the word visa. Of course. But it's in a good way. We finally got Rick's visa done. Thank goodness. And so he'll be able to join the team. Obviously, it's been a tough 2019 for the division. With Rick being out of the country and trying to sort out just how we're going to move forward. It's been challenging. I'm not sure. We have some news coming up about the division. I'm not sure when that news is going to come out, so we'll talk about it on next week's show. But never giving up on CSGO, chugging ahead, and going to try to make it better.
Road to the major begins now, effectively.
That's right.
Speaking of big events coming up, eChampions League final this weekend.
Very exciting.
Well, first of all, Champions League final. Actually, which one's first? Is it the eChampions League first? eChampions League's first, right?
Before, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We have Joxon attending. Funnily enough, he was going to be there regardless because he already got a ticket throughout his first
correct.
major, and now he's actually playing in the top 8.
Yeah, so definitely exciting to be up there with the top 8 players in the world and playing at the eChampions League final. For any soccer fan, being at that Champions League final in Madrid, it's a dream. So he's out there with his dad. He's very excited to be able to bring his dad with him, somebody that shares the love of soccer with him. So going to be competing out there this weekend. I think it's going to be very interesting. Team of the season has been going on within the game. So they released a whole bunch of really strong cards. So figuring out how everybody kind of plays out with those cards and sees what they're using versus just all the icons in Team of the Years before. I know it's been something he's been interested in. So we're excited and glad to be supporting him and watching the finals this weekend.
We also have him and Skills coming here to Dallas to play the Mexican national team, right?
Yeah, we've been excited to. We were kind of talking about that on Twitter last week that we're going to be out here at the Mex Tour stop in Dallas. Mexico is going to be playing Ecuador, so they're having their national team out here, and we're going to bring down Skills as well as Joxon. Going to be doing some stuff. We haven't talked exactly about what we're doing just yet, but rest assured, if you're a soccer fan, a FIFA fan, Complexity fan here in Dallas, make sure to check that out, and you guys won't be disappointed.
Looking forward to that. More positive news, Fortnite, our dream duo,
Yes.
Lanjok and Punisher, they qualified for the World Cup, and impressively so.
They dominated, man.
Yeah.
They played really, really well. So super excited to them. Macwood was actually really close to qualifying that weekend as well.
Yeah.
So he was only a couple spots back. So undoubtedly some really strong showings from our Fortnite players there. I would say that during the entirety of the time in which the vehicles were disabled in Fortnite, our guys were playing, they were placing so much better than they had previously. So I know that our guys have been kind of part of that contingent that's advocating for the removal of vehicles in competitive modes. They certainly play a lot better without them, it seems.
Seems so.
That's been kind of going on, but we're super excited that they're going to be heading up to the World Finals in New York in July.
I'm looking forward to that. Going to be an exciting event, hopefully, anyway. Hearthstone, Soren's beloved division. The GrandMasters has begun.
Yep.
I think it's been sort of like, what would you say? Positive, negative?
I think it's been very positive in terms of like the stream of content that came out of Hearthstone again. I think it's a little bit overwhelming. If you watch the broadcast, it basically goes into a non-stop stream on the days for 17 hours because they play all divisions back to back, and there's like very little break that you can actually decipher that this is a break between regions. But I'm pretty sure Blizzard is going to work on that. Blizzard is going to figure out some more breaks because this is not the first time Hearthstone has like a long broadcast. Trinity Series had that too, and they try to bring those meme things in and try to break it up with humor and different casting pairs, and I think there's a lot of room to improve with the Grandmaster thing. But overall, the numbers look really good. I think the first week peaked at like 50K. Every single time I look at it, it's consistently at 30K. And if you can hold 30K for 17 hours,
that's impressive.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Last I checked, that's pretty good.
Speaking of pretty good, our players are doing well as well.
They're doing pretty well too, yeah. So Tyler is in the APAC division. He's currently 2-2. Casey in the European division 3-1. Both still kind of trying to figure out the specialist mode, trying to figure out how to because as far as I know, you said that your lineup you're for the weekend, so you have 2 games per weekend, and so you kind of try to figure out the best way to like tinker your second and third deck to what you're expecting, and your first deck to what you think like the first player is going to bring. So you try to tech against that. And there's been a lot of discussion that I've been passively a part of, where I'm just like step away for 5 minutes, and the Skype conversation has moved 3,000 lines.
You know, we've had that Skype conversation for almost 5 years now, and I still remember some days where I, just like you, I walked away for 2 hours and I come back and there's 900 messages in that chat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a Hearthstone player. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, what's happening?
It's generally once Casey gets into the zone of trying to figure out the exact lineup, he's going to walk you through every single nook and cranny of his brain, and it's a journey.
That's kind of the cool thing about all the Hearthstone players.
Yes.
They're very engaged and they're very dedicated to the game.
I think card game players in general, because I had the same thing when Colton, our Clash guy, came here for an interview. He was like a very reserved person, and the moment you started talking about Clash, he was like going off on the 20-minute tangents, just like me right now.
Speaking of Clash Royale,
not sure why it's not on the docket, but we have the CRLWest coming up.
Yeah,
we did announce 2 new players, Air Surfer and Vulcan. Super excited. Everybody's been saying that there's. Look, I don't want to
high hopes, man. High expectations and high hopes.
High hopes for sure.
Any placement out of the top 3 would be a massive disappointment. But obviously, we're shooting for first place. We've put together the roster we think can do it, the support staff and coach, we think we can do it, and we're very optimistic. I mean, there's definitely going to be a little RNG going on, and they're still trying to sort out how we're going to approach the different, the 2v2s and the format, but we're all excited.
Yeah, they did just announce, I guess a couple of days ago, I was seeing on Twitter that they are not using bans.
Yeah.
So I know that's been a matter of pretty big controversy within the CRL scene. From my perspective, personally, anytime that you're removing something that makes it a more competitive format, I'm not always a fan of it.
Yep.
I understand that they're trying to make sure that the casual fans are able to relate to the gameplay they're seeing. But yeah, it does hurt us being a team that does invest heavily into analytical staff and coaching, all that stuff, when it does make it a little bit more random. You have less control over the competition.
Yeah, and I think everyone appreciates Supercell's involvement in esports very much, but if we're being honest, they haven't always made the best decisions. Last season, they made some broadcasting decisions and things that people tried to warn them this isn't going to work. And after some experimentation, they said, "You're right, it doesn't work." So hopefully, this banning situation is not another one of those. Oops, I guess the esports people were right. I feel they're wrong on it. Everyone on our squad feels they're wrong on it, and we hope maybe they come around, if not this season, for a different season to make sure that we have as much competitive integrity as we can have.
Either way, very excited for the start of matches this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of nostalgic for the last time that we played a season when we would be thinking about like, oh my God, they're playing right now. I wonder how it's going. So excited that that's going to be starting up again real soon here.
And then for the last team-related news this week, Apex Legends. The FACEIT Pro Series this weekend kicks off. Going to be exciting. I believe we're also going to have the players here at some point, maybe, hopefully. Yeah,
the plan is to bring the players out here and be able to show them around, be able to do some content with them, introduce them to the broader Cole familia. So that's definitely something we're excited about. But the FACEIT Apex event, I mean, I know that's something that you've been pretty passionate about, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I wanted to have it going much earlier this year, as many of the other teams that are participating also wanted to have. EA made an incredible game. In my personal opinion, they have not been quick enough to respond to the overwhelming success. I don't know if it caught some people off guard or what, but they are trying. This is a completely endorsed effort on their part, and I hear rumors of other efforts they're going to be putting forth. I guess the question is going to be: is it too little, too late? Apex is a great game. It took the world by storm, not just because they hired these great influencers. That was a good marketing move, but it was great mechanics. It was a fun game to play. but I feel like they weren't ready for this tsunami of success, and they didn't update it fast enough. Their esports efforts are lagging behind. So hopefully this is going to be something that kickstarts a great game into being a great esport, and hopefully there's a lot of developer support, and the teams that are involved remain involved. And we're optimistic. We love the game, and hope this is the beginning of some good things.
Go Cool Apex this weekend.
Let's go.
All right, that brings us to the Q&A portion of the show. As always, we want your questions. This is where, you get answers you probably wouldn't get anywhere else. We put transparency very high up there. And as always, either in Discord, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, whatever, YouTube, leave us feedback or send us questions with ColdPC. And let's head right into it. First one is from Jonas from a Discord. Who's probably more catered towards you, Soren. How does the communication with the Rocket League guys go? And how did the decision-making of the future of Cole RL go when the boys sadly got relegated to the RLCS last season?
Communication is going well. We have as with every other team, we have a group chat. I talk with the individual members every now and then, if I feel the need to be informed. Magnus informs me on scrim results every now and then. So I think the communication is going really well. Just from their side, from our side, we have had a big talk before week 5, kind of addressing the slump that we were having and the kind of play style differences that we're having, and that you could see on the broadcast. It's not really a secret. From one week to another, we kind of changed our play style, and the results started to fall off. So we had this big conversation, and with everyone just kind of opening up and trying to work together for the goal of going into RLCS. So I have nothing but good things to say about communication with every of our Rocket League teams. Like, this is not just this Rocket League team, but when a lot was there and Metza was there, it was really easy to talk to them.
Yeah, they're good guys. They're good professionals. They don't require a lot of babysitting.
No, because it's also, it seems to be like something in Rocket League. Like, they're all used to managing themselves. So I'm just basically like a cheerleader on the side, and they're doing a lot.
I think the question is more about when they got relegated.
Yeah,
and we were having that conversation. What's going to happen from here? And there were very serious conversations that were had.
Yeah,
and I was like, how can we try to make this work? Because we generally don't employ, I won't say amateur, but I guess what's it tier 2, second level
players,
teams. We want to be in the main league, right? And Soren in particular really believed that this team could bounce back, and we had conversations to make it work on both sides. The players were very accommodating, and I think we were pretty accommodating and stuck by them, and it paid off. So
yeah.
Congrats to Soren and the division, and we're really proud of them. They did a great job.
Yeah,
Soren's just racking up the wins lately.
So
I know Soren's on fire.
With
blue
all
is his color, I guess. I don't know.
All the transparency that we want to achieve here, like all options were basically on the table at some point. Going out of Rocket League, going into another team, exploring options in NA, exploring options in EU with a lot of teams dropping, and it was kind of a crazy offseason just because everyone switched, like even Dignitas switched players. So for a long time, we didn't know, like we knew very early on that a lot was going to leave us, but we didn't know if Magnus was considered for a Dignitas spot, if Magnus was considered for another team to replace him. So we kind of had this idea of maybe trying it with these two if they find a good third player. But up until I think we qualified for DreamHack Leipzig, we were still having like all options. We were still talking to other teams. We were talking to this team, and then they obviously qualified for Leipzig, which made it a lot easier to convince everyone that this was like a redemption story play, for the lack of a better word.
What a story! I mean, Lakes,
Definitely
first time
excited.
LCS, super excited for sure. Next question from Code. Any of you watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
No.
Well, I used to.
Oh, we have. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, a lot of people in the company watch it.
we even had a
Absolutely.
spoiler policy in place. That's
We do have one.
That's right.
Well-
While we're on the topic of HBO shows, if anybody's not watching Chernobyl that has any interest whatsoever in history or anything, it's great.
Chernobyl.
Five part miniseries, and they just released episode
We gotta
4
check it out.
yesterday. It is fantastic. It is currently the highest rated show on IMDb.
All right.
It's at a 9.7 with 44,000 reviews. It's insanely good.
Guess we're
And you
replacing-
can't screw it up when there's only 5 episodes. You can nail the landing.
I don't know about that.
We'll see.
Dr. Waldo wants to know, and I guess like you kind of alluded to that already. Are there any big organizers other than FACEIT interested in the Apex space? Anything that we can share?
Yeah, I don't feel it's my place to comment on, other organizers' plans or business, but I would say yes. There's different groups looking at building out the Apex space for sure. Yeah.
Cool. He also wants to know any opinions on the Champions League final. I'm assuming he means the actual Champions League final, not the eChampions League one.
90th minute, Son scores the game winner. That's all I want. And Ford is going to kill me if he sees this.
I have some upgradable Tottenham cards, so I would not mind those. But I'm also a bandwagon Liverpool fan, so LA.
As a Bayern Munich fan, I have to root for Liverpool because then I can claim that we lost against the title champion.
There you go. That's the only reason you lost.
Yeah,
As a
that's the
Hamburg
only
fan, I
reason.
don't know what Champions League is.
All right, and this is a little bit of an interesting one because I think this is something that people have been speculating off and on naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cole at all interested in fragments, at some of the fragments breaking off of Optic?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of people tweeting at
Yeah.
me about this lately, and I responded briefly on the Call of Duty Reddit about this. I mean, to say no would be disingenuous. We have a tremendous amount of respect for the Optic brand and what they've managed to build, and Hector and his crew over the years. It's just really sensitive time, obviously, and if there were ever opportunities to work with many individuals across that organization, we would evaluate it because our goal is to always build the most compelling, exciting, entertaining, and competitive organization that we can. But right now, we're kind of trying to just pick our words carefully. We want to be respectful during what's obviously a difficult time over there, and we just wish them all the very best. And we have a great amount of respect for them. And if we get to work with some of them in different capacities in the future, that'd be great.
Good answer. Quote also wants to know: will fans be seeing you at DreamHack Dallas? Will you be making an appearance?
I don't know if I'm going down or not. I have to go to London next week and follow London by LA. So I don't know if I'll make it down. I might head down to watch our Rocket League. Counter-Strike is not playing down there. If they were playing down there, I'd be much more likely to go. And obviously we have a lot going on with the headquarters right now, and a lot of people from DreamHack are coming up to visit us. So I'm on a lot of people, like hundreds. So I'm uncertain if I'll make it downtown or not yet. Still kind of TBD.
For people just at home again, this is really the reason why we haven't been able to do this show like the last 2 weeks, like with the HQ. Even though we're moved in, there's so much happening still here. People are coming to visit the space. Partners are coming. Yeah, really nonstop.
Like 80 tours already.
It's pretty crazy.
Oxy, of course, I could never be a press conference without a question from Oxy, one of our fan elites. Soren, is Tavo clicking as well internally as it may seem on screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He's basically the piece that we talked about, like the ideal piece of like an aggressive offlaner that is very talkative, that brings like his own ideas and isn't afraid to initiate a fight. That's kind of what we were missing, because in other teams it's the 4-position player, and Zach is more like the spellcaster that stands in the back and just kills everyone. So we were looking for that, and then obviously that became available after the major. So yeah, he is clicking very, very well. He's very outspoken. Brings in a very positive attitude. Loves Dota. Is not afraid to try new things. Is not afraid to be aggressive and, maybe throw one game out of 100, but the other 99 he wins us. Yeah, he clicks very well.
Also, with noting he's been friends with some of the players even before this.
That's true.
So, this was a really good pickup. RLCS, will we get car skins? I mean, I think we'd want to, right?
It's the expectation.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hope so.
If we're presented with the opportunity, which we believe we will be, then yes.
All right. Next two questions we kind of already alluded to. I guess the last one is a really good one. Big topic this week, or last couple of weeks now, I suppose, has been contracts in the esports space. How do we as an org try to prevent contract discrepancy between ourselves and the players? Maybe some good rules to follow for other orgs, even players looking into signing.
Yeah, I don't think we'd pretend to tell other orgs how to do their contracts, but at the highest level, most org contracts are pretty similar. They're fairly boilerplate. What changes are the percentages here, the percentages there. I think the biggest thing is just properly communicating. And sometimes you feel that you did, and then there's still a misunderstanding. We encourage players, have a lawyer read it over. Make sure you understand it. You're responsible for what's written down. And I'm a little older than most people in this business, but when anyone in a contract comes back like I changed my mind, my first reaction is just tough. Like, you sign a contract, it's okay to come back and be like, hey, could we renegotiate this or that? But there's an obligation to fulfill a contract. But what I see sometimes happening, and this is not a comment on any particular situation because I'm just not going to go down that rabbit hole, is people like, oh, well, I didn't understand it, or I was young, or I got tricked. It's like, it's in black and white. It's 2019. If you're going to be a professional gamer, you need to understand you need to get proper legal counsel, and you need to live up to your obligations on both sides, because there are allegations of teams not living up to their obligations, or allegations of players not wanting to fulfill their obligations. At the highest level, the contracts are basically the same thing, and I think contracts should be honored. But it all starts out with communicating the best you can, and try to avoid those misunderstandings from the beginning. And Kyle, as our COO, was super good about that.
Communication is by far the most important part of it. The other thing for us is making sure that we understand that for us, long-term relationships are valuable. And if I sign a player for a 1-year contract and I know, I really got this player, I got you, like I tricked him into it, I'm getting way more than he's worth. At the end of that 1 year, he's never going to re-sign another contract with me. How am I going to be able to establish long relationships like Z-Freak that's been here for 5 years, or Def that's been here almost 4 years, or Noxious or Asmo or any of these guys? And we try to make sure whenever possible that we're doing the right thing. If it feels right, it's probably right for your business. That's kind of an old adage. When Soren and I are walking players through contracts and having these discussions, and you move from a term sheet to the first time they see their draft contract, we oftentimes say like, hey, we're going to let you sit on this for 48 hours, 72 hours. We're not trying to just be like, you have 20 minutes to sign this, or you have 12 hours to review this. We say, hey, go show this to your mom or your brother or your agent or your business manager or your lawyer. Like, please, an agent, a business manager, a lawyer. But sometimes there are people that really want to sign them right away, and we even sometimes say, no, like, we want you to sleep on this. Make sure that you fully understand, because I know what I'm getting out of this relationship and what I'm committing to it. I want you to fully comprehend that. No, you need to stream these minutes. No, you need to show up for practice like this. No, this is what you're getting paid for. This is what's already included in your contract. These are your expectations. Because if you go into a relationship not fully comprehending both sides, you're bound to have the lack of success. So that communication, that early relationship that you have to establish, the trust that you have to establish, but also understanding on what the words are on the paper, it's extremely important. And once you get that down, it's pretty damn rare that you're going to have issues that can't be solved with a simple conversation and a little bit of compromise.
Anything you want to add to that?
Nope.
Right. Yeah.
Also, scaling agreements.
Contracts.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Scaling agreements with incentives. Good stuff.
That's it. We'll be back
Yeah, we'll be back next week. And
I won't.
As
Leave
always,
leave us comments.
comments, questions, #ColdPC. We'll look forward to it. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.